Hi everyone and welcome back to Chess for Charity. In this video, I'm going to show you a really cool mate in 24 moves. This might be the easiest mate in 24 I've ever seen, considering how many moves it is, but it is really cool, especially the way that it all ends. So take a second, see if you can figure it out. I love this puzzle. While you're thinking about that, let me quickly encourage you to subscribe if you have not yet already. Half of the income I earn in this channel goes directly to charity, so every like, every subscriber helps us out so much. Okay, so right now you notice this black king is on the side of the board here. It's really blocked off. So ideally, you could check this king and it would be game over. So for example, if you could get your bishop here, that would be a killer because that would be, let's get some orange around there, that would be mate. Similarly, if you can put your bishop on c2, that would be mate. So maybe your thought is, hey, I need to get my bishop to one of these squares. Maybe I can get it here, keep it flexible. Who knows? Well, unfortunately, they have knights, and these knights block key squares, and this pawn also blocks a key square. And this bishop is blocking a key square. So your bishop doesn't really have anywhere to go except for the corner, and you really want to keep this position as is because you're really blocking off the black king in the corner. So what do? Well, it's a bit of a waiting game. Just to make sure it's really clear, you can't exactly get away with pushing this pawn because they would be able to run the a3. And if you're really getting crazy here, in case you thought this, putting the bishop here to threaten checkmate in the next move does not work. Instead, you would lose the game because they would promote with check, discovered check, and you would lose in 2 moves. So just keeping in mind these little tricks that both sides have. So you only have one sensible move here, and the computer takes some time to find it. The computer says this is minus about 2, and this is like Stockfish 16, this is chess.com, right? Pretty interesting that the computer takes some time to find it. The only way to win this position is bishop h1. Now, what am I doing here? So I'm trying to spend time because I need these pieces to move in order to give me these squares, right? That's the idea. If I can get access to one of these squares, for example, c6, that'd be mate. I'd win the game. And if I can get access to e4, well, then I can move and get access to c2, which would be mate, and win the game. So I need to kind of kill time in this position. So the bishop will oscillate from h1 to a8, like this. So what do? Well, they don't want to move these pieces, so they're also going to spend some time. They push the pawn. And what do? I just go back and forth. So how is this going to continue? They can keep pushing pawns. They have a lot of pawns. Like, how is this going to end? Well, they keep pushing, and I keep moving. Great. So what's the issue? Well, it seems like, as you might already figure out, these pawns are going to get captured one day because if they keep progressing forward, eventually I'll capture them. But now I challenge you to kind of see what happens after that. It's not super straightforward because after that, something has to give. Okay, think about that if you'd like. So they move, I continue to oscillate back and forth. Remember, in case it's not clear at this point, in case I haven't explained it very well, they don't want to move their pieces because they don't want to give up these key squares that will eventually lead to checkmate. Maybe I'll use different color arrows. Sorry about that. So you just keep oscillating, right? They can promote, you take it. They move pawns, you just go back and forth, back and forth. And now they run out of moves, and then you take their queen. So how is this ending? Well, you keep going back and forth. I don't know how many moves there are so far. Let's see, 15, but you've gone back and forth all 15 moves. Okay, now that we're getting to the end here, what's the best way? If they promote this, this actually is not the fastest, or it's not the best mate, it's not the best resistance. So what they do now is the computer will block with the knight. Pretty interesting, right? So of course you take that. Nothing else makes any sense. They promote, great. Now you'd love to get here and deliver mate, but they won't let you do that. Instead, bishop g2. Great, you take it. Is there any way to go wrong here? Well, I guess you'll see. They play knight f3. You take this, right? Of course, right? No. Instead, you play the super fancy move, bishop b4. Could you have taken this? Look at it. Can you? Nope, that's stalemate. Right? Did you see what I did there? So if you take this, you cut off the king. These squares are already cut off. That's stalemate. This pawn can't move. This pawn can't move. So you can't get away with taking that. Did you see that little misdirect there? Hopefully you did. So it looks kind of crazy. You just keep taking pieces. They keep throwing pieces in front of you. When they play this move, you play the superstar bishop b4. Let me put a brilliant move on this. Right-click the move and hit the double exclamation point, in case you didn't know. So now, what am I threatening? I'm threatening to push this pawn for checkmate or put this bishop on here for checkmate. You can't stop them both. So what do? They check you, just kind of for spite. You take it. Of course, it's a chess engine. They're not making any spiteful moves. They're just trying to extend the game. And now they queen, and you have two different checkmates in one. What would you play here? I think personally, this bishop has done a lot of exercising. It almost makes sense to put it on c6 and end the game. But the pawn move is a bit nicer. Checkmate with the pawn is always cool. So it's funny, this bishop ran back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it didn't really ever deliver mate. Kind of funny there. So that's it. 24 moves. Crazy. And I really hope you see the cool ending here. This ending of just taking everything in the way. Going back to here. They throw pieces in the middle. Just keep throwing stuff in the middle. Just keep throwing. And that last move is where you really have to be careful and not just get carried away with taking because of the stalemate trick. Super crazy. I don't know about you, but I don't know, it's easy to fall for that, especially when you're oscillating your bishop back and forth and taking anything that's in your way. Instead, bishop b4. Super nice. That's pretty much it. Anything else here? They could do this, cover both. That's maybe one thing I should show. Cool idea, but you could just deflect, right? Just a simple tactic. I'm sure you could spot that. So yeah, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to share it, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, all that great stuff. It helps us out so much. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.